are headed to the gym right now. We as in me and you. And if you're not, then you better get your butt up and do something in your living room, do something, go on a beautiful walk. It is a beautiful day in LA. If you live in LA or in California or anywhere in the country, in the United States, really anywhere in the world, and it's sunny and you're not dealing with snow, that's something to be thankful for. Like, really, the sun, it just does something. It just does something. So I am on the way to this fitness class, and it's going to be like a glute workout. Last time I did it, I literally couldn't walk the next day, so I'm actually excited about that. Does anyone else get excited when they get sore? It's like, that's how you really know that your body is changing. So I'm excited about that. And that's really, I mean, mainly, you know, it's like with these fitness checks with each other, it's not really anything too scientific and crazy and let's talk about these crazy topics. Like, sometimes it's just literally saying, hey, what's up? What are you doing today? This is what I'm doing today. We all just got done with Thanksgiving. So just be smart with yourself. We all know, scientifically proven, that most people will gain 8 to 10 pounds during this time of year, which is just crazy because then you end up starting off the year with all this extra weight. And, you know, yeah, the memories are beautiful. Yeah, you know, it tasted good at the moment, but it's not fun when, you know, later on we're having to worry about digging ourselves out of a deep hole, right? So just be smart this season. I really challenge you to, I really want to challenge you to just maintain where you're at. Like, even if you found my page and you're like, who is this woman? She's always like popping on live and doing a fitness check. We over here at the Embody Pursuit world, in the community, we tap in with each other every single day to just see what we're doing with our health and our fitness for the holiday season. So we're going to hold each other accountable. It's just kind of an open forum of like, what are we struggling with? What are we working on? I know a lot of people, there was someone in my comments that said that they had a problem with oil. I didn't even know that. So I learn a lot from you all every time I get on these lives, like, because I was sharing how, excuse me, I was sharing how every time I eat sugar, I always break out. Like, it is what it is. It sucks, but it's kind of a blessing and a curse because it helps me not eat that much sugar, because I'm like, ooh, do I want to break out, you know? And there was a woman that was saying how she breaks out from oil, so she has to stay away from oil. And what's wild about that is that oil is a really big part of my diet, and she has an oil-free diet. I was like, wow, that is interesting. I don't think I've really come across anyone that's had to stay completely away from oil. So I do things, and I'll be able to answer your guys' questions as soon as I park, but I do things like taking olive oil every day. So sometimes I'll take a shot of it with cayenne pepper and lemon, or I'll just make sure to really, you know, have a nice salad, a nice fresh salad with some olive oil, and I just make my own dressing. You know, just like with whatever seasonings that I want to put in it. You know, put some onion powder, some garlic, salt, pepper, some lemon pepper, and just kind of like make my own little concoction. I also have avocado oil. Like, I'll cook with avocado oil sometimes as well. Coconut oil, I'll put a teaspoon of that sometimes in my RYZE mushroom coffee, and it's just like a really big, hearty, healthy brain drink with the RYZE mushroom coffee. So if anyone also is interested, RYZE mushroom coffee is awesome. Check it out down below. I also have it linked in my community tab. It's awesome, awesome, awesome. If you haven't heard of it yet, definitely tap in. But yeah, I do a lot of those things with oil. So I'm like, how could, like, I already am vegan, right? I'm mainly plant-based. And the reason why I do that is because I still will have cheese and some other things sometimes that aren't technically considered vegan. But like, I'm like, dang, and then the oil too, so that's wild. But I think it's important to know what works for you. I was actually watching the Diary of a CEO, and I want to dive into this doctor. He had this doctor on there, and it was basically, the doctor was basically diving into true fat loss and how to like really do it, and the myth busting and all of that. And there's a lot of doctors that do myth busting, but something about the way this particular doctor was explaining it, I like that he was including the nuances. Because what happens is a lot of us will see a celebrity or see an influencer say, I went vegan, I went plant-based, or I went carnivore, and then because that particular influencer looks amazing, or we know that they have access to better resources than the average person, we're like, okay, we're going to do what they're doing. But then all of a sudden you're doing that diet and you're like, this isn't working for me. And then it could just be very disheartening. Like, okay, man, like, so keto's working for everybody, it's not working for me, right? So this doctor was pretty much saying, like, try the different diets, but remember that everybody has bio-individuality, okay? And I talk about a lot about that. And so everyone's gonna have a nuance. So yeah, you might do really well with a plant-based diet, but does the plant-based diet fit with your lifestyle? Like, are you gonna be able to do a plant-based diet when your whole family eats meat, right? Or are you gonna be able to do keto and sustain keto? And what I thought was really profound about the way he was explaining it is that keto was originally a diet for individuals who had some type of condition. I believe it was epilepsy. Correct me if I'm wrong, but keto was originally created to help out individuals that had a severe type of condition. And then as a result of the keto diet, they also noticed that the people were losing weight. And then also the condition was also being healed. So then people were like, well, I don't have the condition, but if it's helping them lose weight, then I want to do it. Kind of like Ozempic, how, like, I believe it's technically it's medicine for if you have diabetes, but then people are taking it because, of the benefits of being able to lose weight. So, and again, I'm not a medical doctor. I do not promote anyone to do anything other than follow your own discernment, do your own research, and always get with your own medical professional. So I just want to do that disclaimer right there. But it's super important to kind of know the origin of, like, why these different methods of eating even existed. And then what's happening is some people will do the keto diet, but then as soon as they, for some reason, like say they go on vacation or lifestyle changes happen, maybe they get with a new partner and like the partner doesn't eat keto, whatever, all of a sudden that person gains all the weight back because they're doing keto. So that's the problem with a lot of these diets, is that as soon as you switch up, you gain. So just kind of keep that in mind. That's not to scare you away from keto or scare you away from any kind of diet. But what I liked what the doctor said on Diary of a CEO, he said that, and he was like, this is scientifically proven, and he's like, and most people would agree that human beings need to just eat a little bit less meat. So he's not advocating for anyone to be plant-based. He did say that based on his research, that the plant-based diet is an excellent, like the vegan diet is an excellent diet, but he was like, it's not for everybody. It's not. And I've always said that too, even though I'm somebody that has been vegan, and I loosely say vegan-ish, I'll say vegan-ish because I still have cheese. Vegan-ish, okay, for 8-9 years now, people will be like, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna try what you're doing, and I'm like, you got to make sure that you're doing it for your own reasons and you understand. Like for me, the reason why I started it had nothing to do with animals. Bless the animals, I love animals, but that wasn't my thing. My whole life, I literally felt like my stomach would feel weird when I would eat. I thought it was like, we eat meat, you know what I mean? Like, it's like black people eat meat. And then even my Punjabi side, before my dad kind of did like a spiritual transition, traditionally people that are follow Sikhism, they are vegetarians, don't eat meat or eggs. But before my dad really transitioned into that and it kind of like trickled into the whole family, there was meat being made in the house. So growing up, I had meat, going to my mom's house, my dad's house. So I just was like, I just feel weird. There's even a picture of me. I think it's so funny because I remember the moment. There's a picture of me holding a rib, like a baby back rib or whatever. And I literally was like this, like, and I was like, oh my gosh, I remember that moment. And this lady who was like a friend of the family was like, you better eat up that food or else you're gonna get a whooping. And this was when it was kind of like okay for really close friends, basically family members, like friends that were considered like family, to kind of like whoop kids and stuff. I do not agree with that at all, but that was the times in the 80s and the 90s. It was kind of like loosely okay. You guys know what I mean. Older millennials get what I mean. And so I remember just being like, I'm getting tortured to eat something I don't want to eat. So, and my mom knew this about myself too, but I don't know. I don't think I made a big deal out of it because I didn't think I was allowed to. It's kind of interesting. And so what me and my brother would do is we would have chicken and vegetables, and when the adults weren't looking, I would put my chicken on his plate and then I would eat his vegetables. So it was like a good trade-off, so then we would both be able to finish our plate. So bottom line is, I did it because I woke up one day and it was like, I think I was like 29 or 30, and I was like, why do I keep eating meat when I don't feel good when I eat meat? Like, I have to have it burnt, I have to have it fried. And then even then, it's like all the repercussions from having a bunch of fried food. And I just was like, it's just not good. So let me just go ahead and not eat it for one day. So one day, I just didn't eat it the whole day. Then the next day, I was like, oh, I was able to get through the day and not have meat and I'm alive still. Okay, cool. I did it again. Woke up the next day, the third day, I'm like, I'm feeling fine. Like, I feel good. I actually feel like I have more energy. Okay, boom, I did it the next day. It turned into a week, a month. And then boom, I was now, 8-9 years later, I'm a plant-based individual. But again, don't do it because like, oh, you see Ciana doing it, and I'm 137 pounds at the moment. And I keep kind of hovering between 136, 137, and I'm 5'7". So don't think that, you're going to do the diet that I'm doing and then be able to lose a bunch of weight, because it might not really be a calling, and you might be damaging yourself with not being able to hit your minerals. Like, I was doing veganism wrong for like 3-4 years. My hair was super thin, but I didn't know because I wasn't educating myself. I just stopped eating meat, and then I wasn't getting the correct building blocks. So if you guys get a chance, go to that. I don't remember his name. I believe he's Chinese, and the video was posted a year ago. So if you go to Diary of a CEO and look for, because he referenced to himself as Chinese, so I'm not assuming he was Chinese. He said he was Chinese several times in the podcast, and I really like the way he explains things, and I think it's fair, and I think it makes sense for everybody, because you do have to consider the nuances. Even when we're doing these fitness checks, it's like, I could be really encouraging you to do something and you're like, that's nice, Ciana, but that doesn't really work for me. But my main point in doing these with you guys is to just encourage you to find what works for you. Like, instead of just kind of giving up or throwing your hands up in the air and saying, well, I can't do what Ciana's doing, I can't do what all these other big influencer people are talking about, these fitness people, fitness gurus, I'm just gonna kind of like accept who I am. But then it's like, people go back and forth with not really feeling good in their own body. So I just encourage you, like, for example, my mom. Ooh, and I'm going to show you guys, I'm going to do a whole video on this, but as soon as I park, I have the picture right here. I'm going to do a whole video on it. It's going to be a continuation of the Being Brutally Honest with You About Your Weight series. There's 6 videos in that series right now. So I'm going to do another one. But like, my mom, there's no way that my mother, who's in her 60s, could do what I'm doing. I work out 5-6 times a week, and on my rest day, I always make sure to get in walking. So I'm essentially active 7 days a week. Okay, I have a very strict diet during this season of my life, and then the types of workouts, like the HIIT cardio, is very intense. My mom, like, for her to when I show her videos, she's like, yeah, no. You know what I mean? So for her, it's just walking. If she can do 10 minutes of dancing videos, if she could do 10 minutes of just like moving her arms, sitting and standing up, sitting and standing up. And then there's, she's going to start walking on her lunch break. You know, I got her a walking pad as well, like just things to move her body. So just know that, like, if I'm ever saying something and you're like, that doesn't work for me, some of the stuff that I do suggest does work. I'm going to park in a second so you guys won't have to hear me yapping too much and I can answer your questions. But, you know, she is doing what works best for her. I'm helping her out on her journey. And if you hear me saying something that doesn't really work for you, just adjust it to work for you. Okay? So again, I'm not a fitness instructor, but I have thousands of hours of working out and research experience and just being somebody that's very passionate about this topic. So it's more so you can think of me as someone that's just like on the journey with you and kind of like an accountability partner, you know, on this journey. All right. Okay, so let's chit chat for a second. I do have some time to be able to chit chat for a little bit. Uh-oh. I was cleaning my room and I like hit like one of the blinds and I scratched myself. And it's like sore. Okay. Let's see. Very true. That's why I went back to meat, but I'm going to go vegan again. You know, and I Patrick, I think that's a good call. Like it's good to kind of, you know, you can do things in seasons, right? Like okay, maybe your body needs to kind of do something light, you know, during spring, right? When the sun's out, it's spring, things are blossoming, maybe you need to feel like lighter in your body, and then maybe during the winter you need to, you know, eat meat, right? Like whatever works for you. I think that's really, really good. Like sometimes some seasons are going to be like that. Sometimes you need to load up on the protein for 90 days and sometimes you might need to take a step back, you know? Let's see. Thanks for allowing us to admire your nails. I take vitamin D3. Yeah, me too. Along with spirulina. Awesome. Me too. And I wasn't, when I first started doing the vegan journey, I wasn't doing that stuff. Like I just was like, okay, I'm not eating meat, but then not having been educated to understand, well, the meat has a lot of benefits to it. So you can do veganism. And to the doctor's point, he's like, you can do veganism very well, very excellently if you supplement correctly. And most people don't supplement correctly. So I do vitamin B12, I do K or D3 and K2 and spirulina as well. And then I'll kind of go back and forth. Like I have sea moss as well. So sometimes I'll run out of my sea moss and I'll do spirulina, you know. So, and then I also do that multivitamin. I love that. I don't know what it is about that. It's a privately owned company. I keep posting about it. It's always scheduled to pretty much just post every day. It's a liquid vitamin. It's called Juka's Organic. I love it. It's a multivitamin. I feel like it just hits the system really well. Like it goes past like, I don't know. It just, I feel like the cells like absorb it better. Like I instantly feel energy. Let's see. Yes, great combination. Do you take the drops or the capsules? What is your name and where are you from? My name is Ciana Singh and I am from California. What can I do to lose my stomach and tone my body? So I have a how to lose belly fat ebook guide, but I will tell you a few things that I did right now. But everything I did to lose 30 pounds and never gain it back is in that book. So you can check it out. It's in my community tab and it's in all of my descriptions on all my videos. So intermittent fasting, HIIT cardio, you have to do HIIT cardio. So a lot of times like you'll see women do Pilates. Pilates is excellent, but they'll be getting, no, I'm not a doctor. And I always disclose that all the time. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a medical professional. This is just my experience. And me just sharing from my own research, and we're kind of all exchanging ideas together. It's kind of like an open forum. But so HIIT cardio, you can do Pilates, but then if you don't get the fat off of the muscle, it's like you can do all this work, but then like you can't see the work that you did. So you have to do HIIT cardio to actually give your body a reason to lose the fat. So I have a lot of the HIIT cardio things that I did. So a few of them I did. Battle ropes are excellent, full body get some battle ropes or get access to some battle ropes. Doing burpees, jumping up, jumping down. You don't need any equipment for that. Doing ball slams. Like, see how like the cut's starting to come back in, right? Like doing ball slams. Because I've been upping my HIIT cardio doing these classes that I've been talking about with you guys, my HIIT cardio classes. You have to be in a zone 2 range to start to hit the point where you're starting to tap into fat. And honestly, if you want to make it easy, figure out how to walk at least at minimum 10,000 steps a day, and then cut back like 200 or 300 calories on your eating. So if you eat like 3 hefty meals a day, you can maybe have a decent, a good breakfast, go a little lighter at lunch, go really light at dinner, and then that'll kind of like help you eat less calories without overthinking it. Or if you really like numbers, get the MyFitnessPal app. I really and then also, what's it called, the other one that I use, this one right here. Hold on really quickly. Did I delete it? I didn't delete it. Because what I'll do for myself is like, I'll get an app to help me just track my food for a couple weeks so I can get back on track. Because sometimes you can, just kind of start to overindulge and not really understand exactly where you're eating the calories. So Food Advisor. So you can get Food Advisor, which I was doing it for like a month straight. And I really, really, it's called, let me see, I wanted to show you guys. Well, this is like what it looks like, but like some of my, let me see, let me show you guys. And I love it because you can actually take a photo of your food and it will just automatically know what it is, which I was really attracted to that about this app. Well, let me just show you guys. This is what it looks like. Food Advisor right here. Food, that's what it looks like a little avocado. Food Advisor. So just download that and that'll help you. Burpees are my go-to with dumbbells. I love compound movement exercises. Yep, it's like killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Absolutely. Yep. Those are the best way to get like the fat off. And then you can do like the weight training and like the Pilates and stuff like that to actually look really lean. But if you don't do the HIIT cardio, it's, and again, that's just from my body. Because my body, I feel like my body wants to be hefty, like it's just genetically. So I have to go a little bit above and beyond. Doesn't mean you can't have a fit body, but like I know myself. I see the women in my family. I know what it is. So I know I have to do some kind of HIIT cardio to keep up with like wanting to be lean. And when I'm leaner, I just feel like, I don't know, I just feel like I can like move my body quicker and more, and like I just feel more fluid. Let's see. Facts. Prison workouts are goated. Well, the ones I do. What are the prison workouts? That's funny. I'm pretty thick. You're my favorite transgender YouTuber. That's not even a funny one anymore. You gotta find some other good ones. Like, too many trolls keep using that one, and it's like not funny. Like, come harder. Let's see. Hi, Ciana. Good morning from Bangalore. Oh my gosh. From Bangalore. I feel like I'm saying that wrong. Like it's not flowing correctly. Where is Bangalore? Like, what's it next to? What's it next to? It's next to India. Bangalore. So it's not, so Bangladesh is something different, right? Like that's not another extension. Bangalore. Okay. Girl, I went live yesterday and it was brutal, but I kept going. Yeah, so many oh yeah. And use it all as fuel. Like all I felt so bad. So this guy, he's actually really he has a lot of he has multiple channels that are all over 100K, and he went live. Or no, he did a video about his lives and how he was just like, I appreciated his honesty. He seems like he's really young. He seems like he's maybe like 23, 22, 23, 24, like something around there. And he was like, I just have to make this video. And it was pretty much all about trolls and how he was just getting ripped to shreds about like some of his features on his face. And he was like, it really like hurt my feelings. Like it's getting bad. And I like that he was being vulnerable about that, because it's like, it's difficult to keep enduring that. I think if I was not where I'm at in life, that at 23, I wouldn't have been able to handle that. Getting ripped to shreds. Like he said that people will just be going in on him the whole time. Like, and he has like a bigger following. So I think he just gets access to more, like it'll be like, I have usually, you know, it'll range from like the low end is like right now. And then it might pop into 100, like the hundreds, like 109, 102. But him, he goes into the thousands. So it'll be thousands of, you know, so say if it's thousands and like 25% of that is all trolls, it's like 300 trolls, 400 trolls, 500 trolls, just like bam, bam, bam. And it just got to him. And he was just like, and then he was like, am I really like ugly? Like, do I really look like that? Like people, just multiple people were saying this about me. And now I'm thinking like, do I like look like that? And I just was like, oh my gosh, like because I always refer to this line, LeBron James. It's LeBron James, right? Like he's the GOAT, like right now in our time. And they were like, how do you deal with, you know, haters and trolls? And he just was like, you can't listen because it will infiltrate. Even the greats are saying that, like it will infiltrate if you don't have some kind of system. So with me, I just take it and I transmute it. Number one, the block button. And then sometimes I actually do think some of this stuff is funny, and I'll like, for entertainment purposes, I'll engage with it because it's just, I actually think it's funny. Like I come from an era, and the older millennials understand what I mean. It was like cool to like crack on each other, right? Like it was like, you know, we weren't as sensitive. Like we had a little bit more meat on our bones to like endure a little bit more. So some stuff I think that would really hurt some other people's feelings, I'm like, you know, I think it's actually kind of funny, right? Like when people say I'm like a Dollar Tree looking actress or something, like I just think it's funny. I'm not gonna like take that to heart and go cry. Lately, I mean, has there really been anything let me see, has there been anything that's affected me? I will say this, maybe about 3-4 years ago when I was starting to post consistently on my YouTube, and the pandemic, my skin was like super broke out. Like the masks completely messed up my skin. And I'm still going, like I ended up getting pitted skin because of it, and I'm going through a healing journey. And so 3-4 years ago, when people would call out my skin, that would affect me because it was something I knew I was working on. And it was something I knew I was like, yeah, it would just like, I was going through that adjustment of like having problematic skin when I didn't have skin issues like that. So it did harm me. But now I'm just like, I don't care. Like just block and delete. I know. Kobe's like ethereal. Like Kobe's like not even, you know what I mean? It's like he's like runs the cosmos. Like I don't know how to explain it. It's like but I know what you mean. Yeah, Kobe, of course. And you know, Kobe, his younger years, he would take that hate and like keep collecting it, and then just like boom, shut the whole world down with his talent. So it takes practice, but just keep going, transmute, keep going, take it, keep going. Because like I thought about it before. I'm like, am I gonna really let a troll ruin my opportunity of growing a fantastic community of people that are into health, fitness, wellness, you know, maybe some of my vlogging. Because I do post like randomly, I'll post like LA vlogs if anyone's interested in that. And I'm like, why would I let somebody that's going to call me ugly stop me from building a really cool community? Like, that's crazy. So, yes, cracking and clowning on each other is different than these yeah, it is. It's true. That's true. Yeah, yeah, the In Living Color days, like In Living Color, what you want. Yeah, In Living Color. What else? Like Martin, like, you know what I mean? And then remember how Martin and not Gina, what was that? Pam, Martin and Pam were always getting on each other. Or like even Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, it was like Will Smith and like Uncle Phil were always getting at each other, or like Will Smith and Carlton. You know, it's like that kind of fun. And I know the trolls aren't being fun with me like that, but that's just how I'm choosing to receive it. So some of them I'm like whatever. It's like not a big deal. Like that's part of when you start going, I guess, in the virtual public eye, it's just kind of part of it. And like I said, I was a professional dancer in my early 20s. So I would see, us dancers would be on the field and we would see people making fun of us, like in the stands, in front of our face, you know, and you just had to sit there and like kind of take it. And then I feel like that was kind of training me for like what I'm doing now, because it's just part of when you are, it's like you're the singled out person and there's a crowd in front of you. It's just part of what happens. Like it comes with the territory. Yeah, the 90s were just like literally gold. So keep going, hippie spirit. You got this. Transmute, transmute. I appreciate that. I'm telling you, I'm not a fitness expert. I don't have a credential. I don't have a certified nutritional. You know, I kind of wish I knew about this when I was in my, like going into college, because I have a business marketing degree. But I kind of wish I would have got like a nutrition degree. But I didn't know that I was like I was eating terrible in my 20s. I had Taco Bell every day, Wendy's every day. The only reason why I was even fit was because I was a professional dancer. If I wasn't a dancer, yeah, it's true. Us almost 40-year-olds look, yeah. I think it has to do with we played out in the sun. We played out in the sun a lot. Like, and I'm not talking about, oh, you know, like the kids nowadays, they play outside for an hour or two and then they go back in on the iPad. We would play out it was from the morning, like the moment we were allowed to be unleashed from the house, it was like we were like, you know how like bulls, you know how bulls are like ready to like charge, like they're ready to get out of the gate so they can like run or whatever. That's how kids were back in the 90s. Like we were like, couldn't wait to like finish our breakfast and like, can I go outside? Can I go outside now? Like, can I go outside? Can I go outside? And we would hit that door, hit that door, hit the grass, hit the dirt, hit the trees, you know, start picking up stuff, picking things, picking up leaves, like picking up worms. We couldn't wait. And then we were doing it all the way until before the street lights came on. So we were like in the sun a lot. Now it's like, oh, we're gonna go to the park and let Johnny play for 45 minutes. You know what I mean? So it was just a different time. So I don't know, but that's just my theory, that it's because we were in the sun, like touching nature, you know. I think like touching those minerals, I don't know, I think it just did something. Because it's not uncommon for people in their 30s to look like they're in their 20s. Like I know several people that look like that. But then there's a lot of people that I know that are in their 20, like early 20s, and I'm like, oh, I thought you were 33. Like they're good looking people, but I'm like, oh, I thought you were older. And I'm like, what is it? It's even like a thing on TikTok. Like there was a trend for a second where like people were saying that like people that are like 21, 22, 23 look like they're in their 30s, and then people in their late 30s are looking like they're in their 20s. Even early 40s are looking young too. We didn't eat berries from outside. We ate honeysuckles. Oh, I don't even know what a honeysuckle. I am Indian. Yes, I am. I'm half Punjabi. Thank you, Patrick. Yep, I'm half Punjabi. What's a honeysuckle? It's a tiny flower that has nectar inside. Oh, wow. Have I ever had that? Hmm. That's really, like, I want to try one of those. We ate plums, berries, honeysuckles. Oh, in the country. Okay. I don't think we had that in California. What'd we eat? I mean, pretty much everything else. Watermelon, apples, bananas. And that's the thing. Like, back then, it was normal for, like, all of us kids knew that we didn't have access to candy. Like, everybody knew that candy was a treat. Candy was like celebratory. Candy was given out during birthdays. Candy was given out like on the last day of school. Candy was given out like maybe, you know, if I was with my mom going to the grocery store, she might let me have a Butterfinger, but most of the time she said no. Oh, also I was really into big hunks. You guys know what that is? The big hunk candy. I feel like that was a really odd thing for a kid to like, because I feel like it was more of like an adult candy, but I would have big hunks. I just remember like it being really hard to bite because it's like a, I don't know what that texture is called, but it was like really thick taffy, I guess you could say. You said I'm a hunk. Do you eat a lot of Indian food? Because these days outside, it's so oily and hard to eat. I always feel guilty eating it. Yeah, I love Indian food. I really, that's like a personal goal of mine. Actually, in 2025, I literally wrote this down. I want to really learn how to make my own Indian food. So I'm half Punjabi. So when I would go to my dad's house, my stepmom would cook everything from scratch, like everything from like, you know, like traditional Indian household. And we were spoiled. She never made us like get in the kitchen with her and learn how to cook. So even my sisters, both my sisters, they're married now. They didn't learn how to cook until they got married. So my stepmom would like, me and my sisters would be just chilling in the living room, like drinking cha, and and she'd be like slaving in the kitchen. So it was cool at the time, but now I'm like, dang, I kind of wish she was a little bit more strict and was like, get in the kitchen. So I really want to learn how to make Indian food. But so when I can get access to Indian food, I love it. It's my number one favorite food. Indian food, and then it goes Mediterranean food, and then it goes Thai food, and then it goes soul food. I'm not gonna lie. Soul food's too heavy for my body. It tastes amazing, but it's too much. Like I can't, it's too much. So like all those foods I just listed, like you know, there's very light options, like light and tasty and satiating. No, I'm not South African Indian. Or is that where you are? Soul food is number one for me. But it has to be cooked clean. Okay, yeah. I think if I were to really tap into the clean soul food, it probably would take over maybe the Thai spot. It might go to number three. Yes, Indian food is so good. We eat chickpeas, biryani and curry at least twice a week. Yes, it's so good. It's so good. That's amazing. So true. I wish um per parent taught us to cook, because in restaurants it's not a good idea to eat. Yeah, it's true. Like it's true. You really should like be cooking from home most of the time. You know, they've done so many studies, and I love eating out at restaurants though. So it's like hard. Um it's like a fun hobby of mine, but like they've done studies, and it's just like, you know, how they're cooking things and the cleanliness, and, you know, they're finding parasites and all that kind of stuff. So it's called soul food because it turns into your soul quicker. It turns into a soul quicker. Thai food for sure. Yeah. Ooh, pho is really, really good. I was at the club last week. Club bed, club bed, club gym, club bed, club Whole Foods, um, Costco club. You need to eat South African Indian mutton bunny. Mm. That's like, I love that. Like, I want to travel the world and try different food. That's like one of my, I love doing stuff like that. Yeah, Sam's Club, literally. um, let's go see the world. Okay, let's go. Yeah, a couple of my go-to Indian restaurants got shut down temporarily because of roaches. Bad hygiene, and then they just opened back up. That's the only thing with the mom and pop places. Like, yeah, they gotta step that up. They gotta step that up. Because that's happened in LA too a few times. Hey Queen, love your realness. Thank you. I have like 5 more minutes, and then I'm gonna, because the class starts at 10 and it takes like 10 seconds to walk in. I'm doing good. Salmon, I'm doing good. How are you? So, I know a lot of you guys have tapped in with me because of, or found this page, this community, because of my videos that are kind of like popping up on different people's suggested videos, YouTube recommendation videos. And so I'm happy to talk about YouTube growth and things like that. Like, this is on a YouTube growth page, but I'm happy to share my experience, and then some of my experience can maybe help you, or you guys sharing your experience with me as well. But I just posted a couple like YouTube growth, like this little mini series that I'm doing. So these two, and I have a third one actually I'm going to post, and it's going to be like a little mini series of just some weird things that I did to not quit. How did you get moderators, and how is it possible for them to be there every time? So I just been blessed from God. I'm not going to lie, to have two amazing individuals, Patrick and Hallie, that have been with the community for a while, and they are leaders in a lot of these lives. And so when they asked to be moderators, I just was like, yeah, of course. So like, as you just continue to go live more, you'll build up your own community, and then eventually God will bless you with someone that says, hey, can I volunteer to be a moderator? And then they just happen to be on when I'm on, because I don't schedule these. So sometimes Hallie's on and Patrick's not, and then sometimes Patrick's on and Hallie's not, and then sometimes, one is on. I love the little police emojis. I love that. And then sometimes like Hallie's on, and then Hallie has to get off, but then Patrick's still, you know what I mean? So it's just, and then sometimes like I'm on and it's just me, so yeah, it kind of just like manifested itself. Like God kind of blessed it. So that's how you can even ask. But see, I don't know. I wouldn't ask any if anyone wants to be a moderator, because then a troll might volunteer and say, yeah, I want to be a moderator. And then they could like completely mess up your channel and your community by just blocking everybody, or like timing everybody out, just to be mean. So like, I would just kind of pray on it, and like let like kind of get to know who's in your lives. A 12-year-old yeah, and I almost got too. Bless her little heart, but I almost got. She was in there. She was adding value. She was dropping some points. Like, she was like encouraged. She was telling people to hit the like button. And then she was like, she said she was 12, and I was like, what? And she was like, yeah, I want to be a moderator. And I was like, before I knew she was 12, I was like, well, and I had seen her in the live for a while. And I was like, well, write me an email and let me know why you want to be a moderator. And then we can talk. And then she was like, well, I'm 12. And I was like, okay, no. Like, so yeah, you got to be really careful. You got to be really, really careful, because I've almost gotten got a couple times. Yeah, then she said she was 17. And then the next week, yeah, she was like, I'm 17. And I'm like, still no. And then all of a sudden 4 days goes by. She's like, I'm 18. And I'm like, now I'm just weary about, like, now I'm just like skeptical about you. So it's just, yeah. So just keep going. If the trolls are getting too intense, you can actually, like, say if you have like a like you want to you have a 3 bullet pointed thing you want to talk about, you can hide the chat from yourself, talk about your points, and then say, okay, let me see what you guys are saying, and then read the comments, and then block trolls as you see them, because that can, you know, mess you up too sometimes. Like if you don't have, like if I don't have Hallie or Patrick on, sometimes I have to put it down, because I'll just see something and like my eyes will read it as I'm talking, and it just throws my whole point off. So you can do that too. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and go into this fitness class and get it in. I'll probably do record myself, and just to prove it's my receipt for my fitness check. So move your body today. Don't overeat today. Eat some fruits, eat some vegetables, do some juicing, go on a walk, and have a beautiful Sunday. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Bye.